Hello and welcome. It's time for late night comic book reviews. Ooh. I don't know why I keep recording comic book reviews in the middle of the night, but that seems to be the time when I record comic book reviews now. And today we got, I don't know if it's a very special thing, but it is a very special thing. Valiant, Hardcore #1. This is the old school Valiant. This is from like 1992. As you can tell by the Alien 3 video game ad on the back, like nobody liked the movie, and they thought the game was going to sell bojillions. Pro tip, it didn't. If you fold out the cover, get this piece of art, which is actually truth in advertising because these characters show up towards the end of the book. So pretty cool right off the bat. Things I like, truth in advertising and advertisements that I remember. The start of the book is basically just a big action movie sequence. We got a bunch of crazy people popping in here, wearing these orange jumpers and helmets, saying gibberish, and machine gunning other dudes. Alright? Pretty straightforward. We assume they're the good guys because they're presented that way. And they're on the cover. But their little plan to machine gun somebody starts to go astray. This guy here shows up who's named Big Boy. Really creative name. Look, names can only be used by like one comic book company, right? So getting a good name is kind of impossible these days in superhero books. But you see, this dude is like invulnerable, and he absolutely terrifically wrecks this guy. This death kind of sets up the stakes for the team, and also sets up, the impetus for some of their motivations. The action sequence continues for a while. Like half of this book is basically that fight, and then we come hang out with them back at their secret home base, and we start learning about the different people, kind of why they have some of the names they have, how they feel about what they're doing, that kind of stuff. And oh yeah, they have bombs in their head. Wow, I think I saw that in the Suicide Squad. What I'm talking about? More interestingly, we flip over here to the very next page after talking to these dudes and starting to meet them, and we start seeing. I want to find that very last panel. We'll go all the way around like this so you can see it. So this dude here, Mr. Kim, was injured in some kind of riot or something in LA, left for dead. They resuscitated him, but he was left in a coma. And the Harbinger organization here rolled in, rehabilitated him, and put all kinds of expensive technology in his head. And he's like, "What if I don't want to work for you?" And they're like, "You don't want to work for us? We are going to rip it all out." That tells you exactly what kind of people that run the hardcore. And this kind of thing was pretty common too. Like if you go look at a Youngblood comic or, gosh, any number of other comic books where the government is portrayed, and that comic book originated kind of in the late 80s, early 90s, you'll see that same template over and over again. Task Force X, or AKA the Suicide Squad. Like it kind of got really hardcore into that stuff. From what I remember in the late 80s and early 90s. Maybe it was like that in the older material. I'm sure there was older material because I'm pretty sure I saw like Task Force X was like dudes that were fighting like giant monsters in the 60s or something like that. Youngblood kind of had that going on where the heroes are up front, here to do some good stuff, but they're working for bad people. That one comic that was an indie book that I reviewed a while back, System 7, like is the same kind of premise. Very common themes at this point in time in these kind of books. All of that, I guess, kind of like grew out of like Watchmen and that very nihilistic deconstruction of the various genres involved here. I'm going to show you ads because why not? Bloodshot #1. I got a copy of that, I think, somewhere. And oh, there was an ad from a comic book store in here that was kind of funny because it was like buy 5 or more copies of Spawn, and they're only $2.50 instead of $2.99. It's like, okay. These days you can get Spawn #1 for $2.50. Like the price did not go up. It was not a good deal. Sorry. Um, I got off track there. Sorry. The book. This actually kind of made me want to read some of the other hardcore books that I have in my collection. I got a bunch of them. Just because I've been like collecting Valiant stuff for free out of the 75-cent bin at Graham Crackers. So I got several issues, maybe like 10 or 15. This kind of makes me want to go read them. I always thought the premise of the team, and I guess I haven't talked about that at all, was kind of dumb, where there's a signal being broadcast that gives them superpowers temporarily, but they only get one power at a time. Like you can generate a force field, or fly, or ride a motorcycle really well, or hey, it's that Kim guy, not the dead guy from the that died fighting the one dude in here. So we already see we've got like a replacement on the cover, and that's kind of a spoiler. Now that I'm seeing that, I don't know that I necessarily like that, but hey, that's a comic book's role. This is actually pretty good. A lot of this early Valiant material is pretty good. The art is solid. The writing is solid. The pacing, pretty good. The book just keeps rolling, and you just have to like hold on, with both hands as the book like bounces you along. That's hardcore. All right, you all take care of yourselves. You have a great day. Bye bye.